What is up, SoSSniping? It's Harry again, and today I'm here with PJ from Skunkwagons, and we're going to be telling you about a Time Flies concert that we went to. If you guys don't know who Time Flies are, they are a group. It's like rapping. I don't even know what would you call it, PJ?
On their website, it's like rap, pop, dub, something. Like, even they don't know what it is. It's a bunch of different genres. Like, it's pop music, but the producer sometimes throws on dubstep, and then he sometimes raps and sings. Like, it's just mishmash of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but they're pretty good. I had to give it to them. It was a good concert. So
talented AF.
Yeah, so PJ, what was it like in line?
So we get there, and I don't remember the exact time that the concert was supposed to start.
It was like 8 o'clock.
Okay, so say we were meant to get in there at 8. We're still in line at 8, and they didn't let us in till like 8:45.
The doors weren't opened yet.
Yeah, and we're like, everyone's in line, and it's a bunch of like underage kids just half drunk.
Pre-gaming
some of them were very drunk. Some of them were just like 12-year-old kids there with their parents in line, and we're like, okay, this is kind of strange. But in line, there's a bunch of people who, some of them had drank a little too much, and they were falling over, and their stuff was just going everywhere.
Like that Asian kid. Remember that Asian kid in line?
No.
There was an Asian kid with a bunch of his like Asian friends. He could not walk, and he was like falling in the street and stuff, and they like put him in like an ambulance.
Oh, right, yeah. There's an ambulance there, and then there was also like cops there, like telling everyone to get on the sidewalk or they could get thrown out of line. And he had his taser in his belt, but it was on, so like at any moment he could just pull it out and tase someone.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay.
You could like see like the bull pins every once in
exactly.
a while, like have like an electric like connection. You could see like the
electricity going back and forth.
And everyone was like, oh shit, goddamn.
Like, I'm just trying to go to this concert. I don't want to get tased. Don't tase me, bro. So we're waiting in line. It's freezing, and then all of a sudden the cops just goes through the line and just separate it into like a front and a back. And then so me and Harry like quickly get to the front line because we knew the people in the back would have to wait like a lot longer.
Yeah, and like Chris, another friend of ours, and the Josie and Becca, they came with us. We all got to the front line. And same with Sappy. He got there too. Sappy's another one of our friends.
We kind of went with a bunch of different people, and then even the people we didn't go with,
that we met up with.
There were people who we knew, like who go to our school, that we met up with there. So there's a lot of us, but I think we all got in the front line, and it was funny because after they cleared away all the people, there was probably like a 10-foot space on the sidewalk where just no one was, and it was like, it used to be a very densely populated area, so you could see like Poland Spring bottles just filled like a little bit with different alcoholic beverages. And then I also saw like a $20 bill, so I just walked over and I just like picked it up, and I'm like, I don't care if this has been touched by a million people and stepped on by everyone for the past 10 minutes, like this is still $20.
And like,
so
the crowd was split. You can just see all the Poland Spring bottles and Gatorade bottles like on the ground, because people just like ditched them. They were finished, or they didn't want to be caught with them. So there was just like a ton of bottles all over the ground.
Yeah, it was cool. So that night, I guess you could say I fucked bitches and got money.
I could say the same as well.
Did you get money though?
I didn't get very much money. I got a couple cents.
Yeah. Well, I picked up a 10 and a 20 off the ground.
Oh,
so.
damn.
Yeah, exactly. So the line was really cold and long, but we eventually made it inside.
Yeah. Inside it was a whole different story. It was okay. As soon as you walk in there, number one, it's so hot. Because I mean, it was mid-February. Yeah. So it was freezing outside. Inside it was hot. You had to like take your jacket off, and it was really hot. So Chris and I, my friend Chris and I, we're walking. Like inside, walking around, looking at the music. It's flashing lights and everything, and the bar's open. People are at the bar, whatnot, coat check and everything. Literally, the second that we step on Chris and I step on like the dance floor area, we get girls to hook up with us.
It's pretty easy.
It's very easy, and it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah. I have an experience that I want to share, but I don't know if I should or not.
You should share.
But I will.
Yeah, please.
there's no doubt of whether I'm gonna share it or not, but it's questionable of a story. So I was there, and it's more or less a standing orgy with no sex, if that makes sense.
Oh, there is.
Basically
in
just
in the back corners.
Oh, true. But yeah, so I was like looking for someone to dance with, and then I see this girl, and then so we start dancing, and then she turns around and we start hooking up, and then I feel someone like pulling back on me, and I'm like, what? Who? Stop. So like I look away for a few seconds, and it's one of her friends, like the girl I'm hooking up with. It's one of her friends who's there with her, and then she's like, get off of her, she's too old for you. And I'm like, what? No, like, how old are you? And then she looks at me, she's like 13, and I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, and I was 16 at the time, and I'm like, you think I'm younger than 13? They're like, yeah, get off of her, she's way too old for you. And I'm like, okay, that's just not true. And so I pull out, I had my permit on me, like my driver's permit. So I pulled that out, and I'm like, listen here, you need to be 16 to get this. So I'm not fucking 12, or however old you think I am. And then her friend's like, humph. And then me and that girl continued hooking up, and I'm like, I just won.
I have to give it to you, PJ. She did not look like she was 13.
Yeah, okay, because the thing is, people are like, oh, you're a pedophile, oh, how about you drive your van away and rape her or whatever. But when girls go to these kinds of concerts, they don't want to look like they're 12. And if they're old, I mean, like, they just want to get some. So they put on makeup and dress really slut-illy and, like, make themselves look a few years older so that people actually pay attention to them.
And
so I was tricked and deceived, and their makeup and clothing worked. So I guess I'm a fool, but I still got that pussy.
Okay. So anyway, so that's just kind of going on over and over again throughout the concert. Every once in a while, people hand you drinks, and you just kind of have it, and whatever. Towards the end of the concert, they had like a triple encore, which is cool. But this girl, she was a little, how you say, plus sized, and she was like, hey, can I go on your shoulders? And I was like thinking to myself, no, please get away from me.
I don't lift. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I was just like, sure. And she's like, she was so excited. I just felt like bad if I was just like, actually, no.
Grease was coming out of her pores.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. And so, I mean, she wasn't like that, like massive, but she was just like, you could tell it's just like she ate too many like Twinkies or something.
Yeah.
That was really mean. Sorry. So she gets on my shoulders, and I literally, like, the veins I couldn't, okay, there was no blood going to my head because she was like leaning forward, so all my veins were like pushed down and no blood could get like through. So I was slowly just starting to like pass out.
Your eyesight just starts going blurry. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So
I'm going down. I'm yelling timber.
So I fall over and she falls, and she like just like lands, and it's just a massive like cracking sound on like the floor.
And she died.
Yeah, she died after that. Yeah. She was fine, but she like hit her head. I don't think she had a concussion because she got up pretty fast. But I didn't get up fast because I wasn't breathing, you know. So
right.
It took me forever to get up, and then Chris, one of our friends, he got over to me and like picked me up and like almost like carried me outside. And it took us like 10 minutes to like find everyone.
Yeah.
And then we walked to our friend's car, and her parents are picking us up. Meanwhile, I'm still just like, I'm pretty drunk still at that point. On the way back, we get into the car, and we're like talking to them. I'm not really saying a word. About halfway through the trip, I black out for about 15-20 minutes. And I wake up, Chris, my friend, he's just like shaking me. He's like, dude, get up, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, okay. So that was bad. Anyway, so back at the house. PJ, you wanna take it from here?
Yeah, so because I didn't really want to go back to my house being in that state of whatever.
Yeah.
We went to Chris's house, who we've said is our friend. So it was me, Harry, and Chris. And then Chris's parents were asleep, so
it was also like 1 a.m. when we got back, just because of everything.
Because it ended at like 11 or whatever, or maybe even later than
Yeah,
that.
because it started later, so we literally got in the car, but like finding everyone, it was like already like 11:30, 11:45.
Yeah, and then it takes like about an hour to get back from the city, so it was almost 1 o'clock, and then I'm like, can we just go to sleep? And then you two are like, nah, turn out.
So we decide to smoke. And we have a joint each, and we get very, very high. Then we go back into the house, eat 2 boxes of Kudo bars. If you don't know what those are, they are the greatest things ever created. It's like a bar, like granola bar, but covered in chocolate and like M&Ms. And in every box, there's 12 of those bars. And so we each ate those, and then...
Well, I had like 1.
Yeah.
And then I just fell asleep, because this whole time, they're like keeping me up, and I'm like, can we just go to sleep? And they're like, nah.
Dude.
So then we finally go back downstairs, and they're like eating all their munchies or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to sleep.
And then we start watching Blue Mountain State.
Oh yeah, I watched like 10 seconds of that, and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, so we fall asleep on the couch, and wake up the next morning. Chris and I, at least, with the worst headaches we've ever had.
Yeah,
but
it was fun.
It was a great experience. And I'm hoping that they'll come back to New York sometime soon.
Yeah, the thing that sucked was that they did come back like about a month ago, or a little more than that.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, yo, let's go to this. And then they were playing on a Thursday.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, time flies. I understand there's probably some issue or conflict or something, but honestly, when your main demographic is kids from 12 to like 18, they all have school the next day.
Yeah.
So no one's gonna go to the city and then be able to go to your concert.
It's ridiculous.
That's poor plan. Needless to say, they probably sold out like 3 times. But
yeah, because people still go.
Yeah, but I wasn't gonna go to that, and like none of us were.
Yeah,
so
I couldn't go to that either.
We missed out on that. So hopefully they come back for a spring thing before we all go to different corners of the world for colegio.
Oh yeah.
But guess that's the end of our story today.
Yeah, it's a good time. Do it again sometime. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll link in the description for Skunkwagons channel. Thanks for being on, PJ.
Alright, thank you.
Alright, peace, guys. Peace.